Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast on a mission to inspire a world where food makes us better. Today, guys, we are covering material, well, not all of it, but some highlights, material from week number 4 of my upcoming course, November 1st. It's coming. It's not actually a course, it's a school. Smart Weight Loss, Fit and Healthy Body for Life. That's the name of it. For 9 weeks with my group, by the way, you can be a part of this group. We will be learning and most importantly, practicing all those aspects of healthy eating, healthy lifestyle that allow you to get the body you want and most importantly, to keep that body that you want. So guys, email me Angela@createyourself.today. It's just $200 US dollars for 9 weeks. And with the group classes and group WhatsApp chat where you're gonna be getting daily reminders about our weekly practical assignments. You're gonna be getting all the answers to your questions from myself personally and also from fellow learners in the group. You're gonna get health advice and tips, everything to allow you to finally reach that body and health goal and most importantly to keep it. So please join, guys. It's gonna be amazing, one of a lifetime kind of experience that's gonna transform your fitness, your body, your health and your confidence for a life. It's gonna be really transformational and it's just an amazing thing to do at the end of 2020 that I'm sure has been hard for a lot of you, me including. So guys, it's very affordable. It's one of a kind school course. It's live. It's very engaging. So you're going to be learning from with and from other people. And you're also going to be getting personalized advice from me, nutrition coach, health coach, weight loss coach, all the best strategies. And also you're going to learn what is, noise out there and what you should not pay attention to. What are the most effective strategies and how you can reach your goal faster and smarter. So please do join Angela@createyourself.today. It's going to be an amazing transformational experience for all of us. Today, guys, we are covering in some detail, meaning it's not all that's going to be in the course, but a lot of very important points when it comes to cooking for health, for fitness, for the amazing body that you're really proud of and that feels amazing. Cooking, guys. First of all, if you are someone who doesn't cook a lot and you eat out a lot, I'd like you to understand that there is a lot of stuff going into your food that you get elsewhere that you might not think about, like dressings, marinades, all kinds of sauces, and you think, well, what a big deal, right? If you are eating, broccoli and salmon, so what that dressing or marinade are gonna do to that healthy food or what it's gonna do to your salad. But in some places, the ingredients are more or less healthy, even though most of the places where you eat out, they add oils that are pro-inflammatory, that are not great for our health, that don't help us to lose and maintain a healthy weight and to lose and maintain or to gain and maintain our health. There are a lot of ingredients that restaurants, places where you eat out, they're used because they're cheaper, and understand that restaurants, cafes, all the other places, they are trying to stay in business and to make profits, and they don't have a lot of margin, and they're saving where they can. So understand that you aren't probably getting the best ingredients, no matter what you think and no matter how this place is marketing itself, right? But that put aside, you add 2 tablespoons of oil to your food, and it's gonna, while cooking, it's gonna absorb most of it. And you add like 200, sometimes 400 or 500 calories to your food. And if you're trying to lose weight, that's gonna be a big surplus. That's gonna be really hard for your body not to notice. So you might be thinking, oh, I'm eating all these healthy foods out. Why am I still not losing weight? But again, you might be getting tons of oils that you don't even notice, or sugars or other different substances that for one reason or the other do not allow you to lose and maintain weight, to gain health and to feel better. So if you do eat out and you don't see yourself stopping that please do find a place that can give you a list of all the ingredients and where you can choose what you want to have in your food and what you don't want to have in your food. My advice is to get your food naked, meaning, I don't know, steamed or poached or grilled, but without anything added to it. And then ask for sauces, dressing, olive oil, spices and herbs, piece of lemon or lime on the side, so you can decide how much of that you want in your food. So that's a piece of advice number 1, really practical, guys. So if you are struggling with weight loss and you are eating out a lot, so look into that food, that ingredient list. You might be consuming 200, 300, 500 calories more and not even know about that. If you are someone who does cook quite a lot, I highly recommend you to start using all the measuring devices available, like tea and tablespoons, measuring cups, food scales. So you can use spoons for things like oils and nut butters, especially with nut butters. Guys, you take a thing like peanut butter, and if you have just 1 spoon of it, 1 tablespoon of it, that's going to be about maybe like 80, 90 calories. But if you eat a spoon with a top, it might be twice as much, guys. That's why it's so important to use your spoons, your cups, but also use them properly. Not, just grab a spoon and take as much as the spoon can handle, without anything like spilling and falling out. But use those spoons in a proper way, so they're even and you are getting just 1 tablespoon. Because if you take a tablespoon, even a measuring tablespoon, right, and you grab some butter that is not liquid or some coconut oil that got hard, and you get like the one heaping tablespoon, with a small heel on top of it, you're going to be getting twice as many calories. And let me tell you that those calories will be highly absorbable. That fats are the easiest foods or food items that our body can get calories from, meaning that almost all of those calories are going to be absorbable, digestible, compared to something like almonds or other whole foods, where a lot of calories are going to be undigestible to our digestive system, or it's going to require much more energy to digest that food properly, to extract all these calories. So the point being, use your measuring devices, especially for fats, especially for oils, but also if you love things like nuts, almonds, then use food scales to make sure that you are eating just 1 ounce or just 30 grams, not like 60 grams, even though you do think you are eating just 30 grams, but because you're not using any proper measuring devices, you think, that's just 30 grams, 1 handful. But if you have a big hand, that's probably not just 30 grams. In any case, use scales for those things. Measure once and see how many almonds, for example, in that 30 grams. And then the next time you get your almonds, you can just count them, and it's going to be a much more precise way to know how many calories you are consuming. And this is another way to manage your portions, your calories. Eyeballing for those things is not a great idea. So that's the piece of advice number 2. All the time use measuring devices. Guys, I'm able to lose as much weight as I need to recomposition my body, how much fat I carry, how much muscle I carry. Because when I get into a phase where I'm trying to change things, like I did recently, and I lost I think overall maybe 5-7 kilos, that people started to notice that I got really lean. So when I'm in that phase, when I'm trying to change things, I'm always using measuring devices. No question, I'm using food scales, I'm using cups for things like beans or lentils, I'm using tablespoons, teaspoons for all the oils, butters. I measure all of my nuts and everything, so I get precise. I don't trust myself. Humans are not exact creatures. It's hard for us to measure stuff precisely, especially if we have a hungry brain. So use measuring devices. The next piece of advice that a lot of people aren't thinking about: whole foods are always better for weight loss. So if you are thinking that almonds and almond butter, they're the same, they aren't. Science shows that our digestive system works that way, that the amount of calories we are able to extract and get from whole almonds are much more different from almond butter. We get many more calories from almond butter or peanut butter than we would get from almonds or peanuts. Even playing a thing like roasting your peanuts or almonds will change the amount of absorbable calories. And at the end of the day, it all adds up, guys. So what is my advice here? Use whole foods instead of their non-whole food alternatives. So instead of almond or peanut butter, use almonds or peanuts. Instead of avocado oil, eat your avocados. Instead of coconut oil, eat your coconuts. Instead of olive oil, eat your olives. Now, sometimes you might need the oil, for dressing for your salad, right? You can't really make it liquidy, but maybe you can. Maybe you add whole olives into your salad and use non-fatty dressing, like some lemon juice with some herbs and spices and salt. That's going to be less calories than if you use oil. So those are just a few options that are, at the end of the day, they add up, and you're going to get much more progress with whole foods. So for myself personally, I do the same, guys. So whenever I'm trying to get leaner or lose weight or do something like that, or I'm working on a meal program for my clients, I do the same. I always recommend to go with whole foods whenever it's possible, and it's possible in most situations, and you can always find some replacements. Like, for example, if you cook your meals in a pan, like your proteins, your veggies, instead of oil, you can just use water, and it's going to create this steaming or poaching effect. You don't need any oils. And if you do want to use some oils sometimes, then maybe it might be not as often as you usually do it. And again, that will help you to stay full, to consume less calories, and to lose and maintain weight much, much easier without having to go hungry. Because also, guys, whole foods, they have more volume. They usually have more fibers, plant or muscle fibers, and they take longer for your stomach, for your gut to digest them, to assimilate the nutrients, and that helps you to stay fuller for longer. So that works on so many levels. Choosing whole foods over non-whole food alternatives, like avocados instead of avocado oil, olives instead of olive oil, whole almonds instead of almond butter or peanuts instead of peanut butter. So this was advice number 3. Whole foods over their non-whole foods alternative to stay fuller longer, to absorb less calories without feeling hungry, and to lose weight faster and more effectively. The next one, guys, about cooking. Whenever you cook a meal that you want to provide you with the most satiety, to feel fuller for longer, you want to get the most nutrients, you want to lose weight and maintain weight easy. Whenever you are cooking for those purposes, try cooking just 3 things. So you always have those things available in your fridge so you can put together a healthy, nutritious meal that helps you to stay fit and healthy really, really fast. So always cook 3 things. Non-starchy veggies, the veggies that are not potatoes or starchy tubers, so a lot of different kinds of non-starchy veggies, protein-rich foods like your seafood, your shellfish, your chicken livers, your meat, your poultry, your eggs, maybe you pre-boil some eggs, and then some of your starchy foods. Usually I recommend to have a cup of starchy foods for most people, at least once a day. So your starchy foods are whole grains like rice or buckwheat or quinoa, or sweet potatoes or Jerusalem artichokes, like different starchy foods. Also cooked carrots and cooked beets are also starchy foods when they are cooked. So always have those 3 things in your fridge cooked. You either saute or steam them. Baking, by the way, is a huge time saver because you just set it in your oven and forget it. So set it and forget it. That's why I love baking. I recommend to use medium temperatures so you do not destroy a lot of nutrients while you are cooking, and just it's going to take a little bit more time to cook. But the beauty of it is you set the timer, or no timer if you are at home or you don't have timer on your oven, and then you can go do whatever you want to do. Really easy. You don't have to be standing there and cooking actively, right? So you can set it for an hour, for 2 hours, and just go do your thing. So slow baking is a huge time saver. But to get back to the main idea, you always want to cook 3 things: veggies, protein, and starch, and then half of your plate non-starchy vegetables. If you'd like a little bit of starch, then get you a little bit of starch, maybe beans, maybe potatoes, maybe sweet potatoes, or quinoa or buckwheat. And then have protein-rich foods. I recommend to go for like 200 grams, no less than that. For most people, 150, 200 grams. That will give you about 30 grams of protein, depending on the food you're cooking. And whenever you're hungry, you always have these foods, your veggies, your proteins, your starchy foods, and you can assemble a meal really fast when you get hungry. And don't forget, guys, to make it all delicious and spicy and different, to add variety to your eating experience, your tasting experience. Don't forget to use herbs, spices, different sauces and dressing that then you can manage yourself, right? So spice it up. And that's how you make healthy foods to taste different. And that's how you make them delicious and exciting every single time you cook them. Now you can cook the same broccoli all the time, but even though I do recommend variety for nutrition purposes, you can use the same veggies but add different spices, herbs, and it all gonna taste differently. Like, for example, Brussels sprouts. I absolutely love Brussels sprouts roasted with garlic, black pepper, and some olive oil. And whenever I feel like I want to make them a little bit different, I just add some spice mix or herb mix like curry spices or Italian or Thai or Chinese or Mexican, and it's gonna taste different every single time. So use this trick to make your healthy foods also exciting, delicious, and so irresistible. So cooking using herbs, spices, don't forget to always have veggies, proteins, and starch. A lot of people ask me, like, what are the healthiest ways to cook? You gotta keep in mind the temperature. So no matter what you cook and the method you choose to cook, temperature should be low to medium to preserve all the nutrients. So if you decide to bake or even grill, take more time, but cook it on a slow heat, and that's going to preserve maximum nutrition and create the least amount of pro-inflammatory or cancerogenic compounds. Like, for example, if you grill at high temperatures, especially things like meat, you can create a lot of carcinogenic substances, that charred part that becomes black. It's not really good for us, but if you use low to medium temperatures, you can avoid that. So whether you decide to steam, my favorite way is to saute with water, or poach or bake. That is a huge time saver. Whatever method you choose to use, remember that temperature matters. So it's best to use low to medium temperatures. And then probably the last piece of advice for today for healthy cooking and how to make healthy eating sustainable and fast and convenient. Cook once, eat many times. Meaning, guys, a couple of times per week or maybe even once a week. Take time and cook a lot of veggies that you plan to eat during this week. Cook up a lot of protein-rich foods, maybe some seafood, some shellfish, some meat, some poultry, some organ meats. Cook up some starchy foods like whole grains or beans or tubers like sweet potatoes. So cook a lot of this in the amounts that you plan to eat for several days. And then something that you're going to consume in the next day or two, you might put in the fridge. The rest you can just freeze and then put it maybe in the oven or heat it up some other way. And you're going to have your delicious home cooked meal every time you want it. Now, it might not be as nutritious and as good as a freshly cooked meal, but it's the next best thing and much better than any fast food, junk food, or food just out in a place where you're not sure what they put in your food, what kind of ingredients they use, right? So cook once, eat many times. And again, for freezing or for storing for several days, use the freezer and then just heat it up. Freezing saves a lot more nutrients and prevents the development of different substances in our foods that develop when food is exposed to oxygen, to light, to different kinds of bacteria. So freezing helps to minimize those effects and to preserve maximum nutrition. So store your food, again, for a couple of days. Fridge is okay. Then put it in the freezer. Like if you do plan to store them more than a couple of days, then put them in the freezer after you cook your food. And I think these are the most important pieces of advice for cooking and making healthy eating, home cooking sustainable, so that you know what you eat. And it's much easier for you to eat the most amount of nutrients, maintaining a healthy weight, losing weight, gaining back your health, transforming your eating habits. So let's recap, guys. First, understand that whenever you eat out, you just never know what's in your food and how many calories you add by eating there. All the marinades and sauces and dressings. It might seem like not a lot, but it's not what it seems. Plus, anywhere out, that establishment, first, it's the people there are business minded, and they probably are not putting the best ingredients into your meal, the quality that you can be putting in. The second piece of advice: use measuring devices to prevent unnecessary calories. Spoons, measuring cups, food scales. Use whole foods as much as possible over their non-whole food alternatives, like almonds instead of almond butter, for example. Make sure that you always in your fridge have 3 things ready to go, ready to eat. Non-starchy vegetables, green, colorful, prepared in your favorite way. Protein-rich foods like mussels, meat, organ meats, fish, shellfish. Mussels are a kind of shellfish too. And starch, something like beans and lentils and sweet potatoes and whole grains like buckwheat or rice. Don't forget to use your favorite herbs and spices to make healthy food taste different and exciting every single time. The healthiest methods to cook your food are the ones that require the lowest temperature. So whenever you cook something, whatever that is, try to use more time and lower temperatures to preserve maximum nutrition, and also to prevent the formation of compounds that might be pro-inflammatory or carcinogenic or not healthy otherwise. Steam, poach, bake, roast at lower temperatures. And don't forget that you can cook once and eat many times. So cook a lot of veggies, cook your proteins, cook your starchy foods, and something you put in the fridge for a couple of days, something you put in the freezer for longer, and then just assemble your food, your meals, your healthy meals as you go. And then your healthy eating habits are going to be much, much easier, guys. And you're going to reach your weight loss, your health, your fitness goals so much faster when you take control of your food on all levels. And again, it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to take a long time. And guys, if you have some issue, like you're not sure how to maintain healthy eating habits in your situation, please do reach out and I'll give you my best advice. I travel around the world, I'm not always in the most convenient situations, and I have clients around the world working many different shifts and traveling and having businesses and families. So I probably know quite a few solutions to a lot of different life situations. So don't feel overwhelmed or frustrated that you can't make it perfect. There is a solution for your situation too, to make your eating habits much, much healthier and fitter, helping you reach and maintain your body and health and fitness goals so much easier. So reach out, guys. Angela at createyourself.today. And also, please do reach out to get into my school that starts November 1st, a 9-week school where we're going to be mastering together all these habits, and you're going to not just know what to do, you will do it together. We will all do that. We'll learn how to do all the right things in our specific life situation. So please reach out, get into my school. Let's transform our habits at the end of 2020 and meet 2021 in the best shape that we've been so far. Isn't that exciting? And besides that, guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to share this episode with one another person or many people who might be struggling with figuring out how to make healthy meals a sustainable thing without, spending a fortune on personal chefs or meal delivery services. So please do share this episode. Please learn together, discuss it, and figure out how you can make it work for you, for the whole household, for the whole family, your spouses, girlfriends, boyfriends, kids. So share, learn together, practice together. And guys, as usual, till next time, eat better daily.